Now we will be discussing how to generate, adjust, and download payslips using the Payslip module under the Payroll subtab. Now, before we generate a payslip, we need to ensure a few things are in order. So the first thing we need to check is that the pay grade is correct. So the pay grade determines a couple of things. So this pay grade B, has a salary per hour of 100 pesos. So once we assign this to a staff, that staff has a salary per hour of 100 pesos. And then additions. So every payslip that is issued to that staff that has that pay grade would have an extra 2,000 pesos worth of transportation allowance on that payslip. And then for deductions, for every payslip issued to that staff that has a pay grade B, they would be deducted 100 pesos. And lastly, for their government benefits, they would have 100 peso deduction for each of SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig. And then for the owner contributions, these are just informational. They do not deduct the payslip of the staff. So it looks like our pay grade is correct. So that's the first thing we check. The second thing we check is that the pay grade is actually assigned to the staff that we are generating a payslip for. So if we are generating a payslip for staff B, we need to make sure that their pay grade is correct. And in this case, it is. We've already assigned them pay grade B. Otherwise, we'd have to update this staff. So since this is correct, let's go back. The third thing we need to ensure is correct is the work that they have rendered. We need to make sure that the work that the staff has rendered, in this case staff B, is correct. And we check this under the work rendered module. So here we can see all the work that this staff has rendered. Work for April 1 to 15. So let's go ahead and see. So on April 1, they actually overtimed by 30 minutes. And then April 2 to 4, it's just a normal amount of 8 hours. Then on April 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, they also have a normal amount of 8 hours. And then on April 10, they actually do not have any work rendered. So this could mean that they are either absent or they are having a rest day. And then from 11 to 14, it's also 8 hours of work. And then on April 15, they actually undertimed by 30 minutes. So since the staff has rendered work from April 1 to 15, we will be generating a payslip from April 1 to 15. But before that, there are a few more things we need to check. So this is the third thing we checked, work rendered. The fourth thing we need to check is their loan. We either have to create a new loan or maybe just double check the existing loan that they have. So currently they have one loan, the PhilHealth loan. And let's look at the info about this. So for the PhilHealth loan, it will be deducted on every first pay cycle, and they have to pay a total of 1,000 pesos. And the schedule is from April 1 to May 31. They will be deducted 500 pesos for each payslip issued on the first pay cycle. And since they do not have a payslip yet, we will be creating a first pay cycle payslip. So this should deduct 500 pesos later. So that's the fourth thing we've checked, the loan. The last thing we need to check is the holidays. So in case there are holidays, we need to add them here. So for example, on April 4 and April 8, let's say there are regular holidays and special non-working holiday for those dates. Now, once we've done that, we can finally generate our payslip. So let's go back to our Payslip module. So currently there are no payslips. So let's go ahead and create one. Let's generate a payslip. So we are going to issue this on April 15. And as we saw in the work rendered, it's from April 1 to April 15 that we are considering work for. And for the staffs, we currently only have one staff, but keep in mind that we can generate for multiple staffs. But for now, we're going to create for one only. So let's go ahead and generate one. And there we go. This is a payslip. Here we can see the information we've entered. This is for staff B and the issue date of April 15, and it ranges from April 1 to April 15, 2024. We can also see the net salary of 13,352.5. And in order to see the breakdown of this net salary, we can look at the rest of the tabs. So for earnings, we can see for the regular day of regular hours rendered, that would be from April 1 to 3. And then April 4 is actually a holiday. We've set it earlier in the holiday module. And then April 5 to 7 is a regular day. April 8, we've also set that as a holiday. And then April 9 is a regular day. And then April 10 is skipped because as we saw in the work rendered tab, the work rendered module, they actually do not have any entry there for April 10, whether it's because they were absent or because it was their rest day. And then from April 11 to 15, it's just a normal regular day. So in total, that is 12 days. And this is the formula we use for regular days of regular hours rendered. So that's this formula. And the total hours they worked, the total hours they rendered is 95.5. And we can see that the hourly salary of the staff is 100 pesos based on the pay grade that we've set. So that would be 100 hourly salary times the regular hours rendered, which is 95.5. That is why it is 9,550 pesos of salary. And then similar thing with regular holiday. For regular hours rendered, that would be only on April 4. They also have a salary, a gross salary based on a different formula. And then for the special non-working holiday of April 8, they also have a separate formula, and that's how the salary is calculated. And finally, for the April 1 regular day that they overtimed, that would be 62.5 based on this formula as well, using the hourly salary and the overtime hours rendered. And finally, this is the total gross salary. Now, going back up, we can also see the additions to this payslip. So the transportation allowance of 2,000 pesos, this is based on the pay grade that we assigned to the staff. For deductions, this miscellaneous deduction of 100 pesos is based on the pay grade we assigned to the staff, while the PhilHealth loan is based on the loan that we saw earlier in the loan module. And we can also see the government benefits. So again, 100 pesos for each of them, and the owner contributions do not have an impact on the payslip's net salary. And that is how we get the net salary of 13,352.5. Now, let's say that because they were um, undertimed on April 15, as we can see from the um, work rendered module, we would deduct 352.5 just so we can see a very concise number later. But let's say that is the reason because they undertimed. That's why we are deducting 352.5. So in order to do that, we would perform an adjustment on this payslip. So when we perform an adjustment, we would go here and adjust this payslip. So let's say for April 15, day under time 15 minutes. Oh, I think it was 30 minutes. And the amount to be deducted is this much, negative 352.5. So we've adjusted this payslip to deduct 352.5 pesos. So now we can see that the net salary is just 13,000 pesos because we've performed an adjustment. And the adjustment is flexible. We can both add and subtract from the net salary. So that is how we adjust the payslip. The last thing that we need to look at is how to download this payslip. So the way we do that is we click a payslip or multiple payslips. We can download multiple payslips as well. And then under actions, we can download this payslip. It will download it as a PDF file. And here we can see all the data that we saw earlier. We can see the staff's name, the payroll period, the hourly rate, and the issued date. Then we can also see the gross salary for regular day, regular hours rendered, regular holiday, regular hours rendered, and so on. We can see the amount of hours for each, the actual total for gross salary, and then the subtotal for all of the gross salaries here. We can also see the transportation allowance. So these would be the additions based on the pay grade. So that would be their total earnings. And then for deductions, we can see the government benefits deductions of 100 pesos for each of them. So a total of 300. And then again, for informational purposes only, this does not deduct from the net pay. You can see the owner contribution. And for the other deductions, they're also here. The miscellaneous deduction that is from the pay grade of 100 pesos. The PhilHealth loan deducted 500 pesos for the payslip, and it still has a balance of 500 pesos. And finally, the last thing we added, which is the adjustment of 352.5 deduction based on the April 15 under time of 30 minutes. So that would be the total deductions and the net pay, which we also saw earlier. Then once we print this, we can have people sign who prepared it and who received it. And that is the end of how to generate a payslip, how to adjust a payslip, and how to download a payslip. That is the end for that. Thank you so much.